Good evening and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining William Osler Health Systems Community Telephone Town Hall. My name is Gurjeet Gorbance, and I am a member of Osler's Patient and Family Advisory Council, going on 4 years now. I identify as a Sikh Canadian woman. I was actually born at Osler's Etobicoke General Hospital, and I've had the privilege of living in Brampton for the last 32 years. Over the last 18 years, I've been fortunate in working alongside wonderful educators and students as a high school teacher in North Brampton. In addition to my work, I have been an active volunteer within the community and continue to engage in many meaningful projects. I've been blessed to enjoy some beautiful travel over the years, which I have shared with my husband Harjot and our 3 young sons. I am pleased to be back moderating Osler's Community Telephone Town Halls. Please note that tonight's call is being recorded and will be available on Osler's website within a few days. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that Indigenous peoples are the original caretakers of this land, now known as Peel and Etobicoke. This is the ancestral territory of the Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Much of Osler's work takes place in the traditional territory and the treaty lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. As visitors in this territory, we at Osler would like to express our gratitude to the Mississauga peoples of the New Credit First Nation, the descendants of the Credit First Nation. Osler would also like to respectfully acknowledge the diverse community of Indigenous peoples representing a multitude of distinct nations who currently live, work, and play in this territory. We would like to express our commitment to honoring Indigenous communities and nations across the territories now known as Canada. This evening, some of Osler's senior leaders will share hospital updates, including progress on the new Peel Memorial Hospital, the launch of Osler's new 5-year plan for the future, and the exciting launch of Osler's Research Institute for Health Innovation. And of course, we always look forward to hearing directly from you. We look forward to taking your questions over the next hour. From my experience as a volunteer patient and family advisor, I know firsthand that Osler's leaders are committed to truly listening to and learning from us all. We look forward to engaging in meaningful conversation with you, either on the phone or through our website. I will also be asking you a couple of polling questions, which you can respond to using your phone or on Osler's website. To be placed in the queue to ask a question, please press *3 on your phone at any time to submit a question at williamosler.ca/townhall. It's now my pleasure to introduce Osler's senior leaders joining us this evening. Manny Satija, from Osler's Board of Directors, Dr. Frank Martino, President and CEO, Kathy Renaud, Vice President, Facilities Operations and Capital Development, Ken Mayhew, President and CEO, Osler Foundation, Kiki Ferrari, Executive Vice President and Chief Clinical Officer, Satiana Rivera, Executive Vice President, Quality Research and Chief Nursing Executive, and Mary Jane McNally, Chief Patient Experience Officer. Over the next hour, we will get to as many of your questions as possible, both on the phone and those submitted through Osler's website. To be placed in the queue to ask a question, please press *3 on your phone now or at any time during the call, or submit a question at williamoslerhs.ca/townhall. For those callers who we cannot respond to during this 1-hour live event, I will provide instructions at the end of the call on how to leave your questions so Osler can get back to you. To those just joining us, welcome to William Osler Health Systems Community Telephone Town Hall. I would now like to invite Manny Satija, Osler Board Director, to say a few words. Manny?
Thank you, Gurjeet. Good evening, everyone. This is my first Osler Community Telephone Town Hall, and I'm very honored to be part of tonight's event. Similar to many of you online this evening, I am a resident of the community. I've lived in Brampton since I was 10. I have 2 kids, one of which was born at Etobicoke General Hospital, and my family also lives in the community. We all count on care at Osler's hospitals, and I'm incredibly proud to be a board member and engage with a wonderful staff, physicians, learners, and volunteers who are committed to providing world-class healthcare inspired by our people and communities. In addition to my role as a board member, I chair the Health Services and Quality Committee, which makes recommendations to the board to ensure that the appropriate systems and structures are in place for the monitoring and management of quality, patient safety, risk, and health services here at Osler. I'm also a member of the Resource and Audit Committee, which makes recommendations to the board to ensure the effective use of Osler's financial, physical, and informational technology resources and assure that they're consistent with board oversight and limitations. In my role on the board, I not only bring my professional expertise, but also a perspective as a community member, as a patient, and as a loved one. And regardless of which hat I wear, open and transparent communication with the community is something I deeply value. The feedback that Osler receives from you today is very important to the board and to all hospital leaders, and helps us to reflect on ways we can improve service to our community. On behalf of the entire Osler Board of Directors, I want to offer my sincere gratitude to Osler team members for going beyond for patients and families every day. As we think about the journey that lays ahead of us for this community in Osler, there's a lot to be excited and proud about. The hospital redevelopment, Osler's new strategic plan, our new Research Institute for Health Innovation, and much more. And all this is deep-rooted in delivering exemplary healthcare. The future of healthcare is bright. We can assure you that for our communities. With that, thank you, and I pass it back to you, Gurjeet.
Thank you, Manny. For those who have just joined, if you would like to ask a question or make a comment, press *3 on your phone. This will bring you into the question queue to speak with one of Osler's leaders. We kindly ask that you keep your question brief so that we can get to as many as possible. I would now like to ask Dr. Frank Martino, Osler's President and CEO, to say a few words.
Thank you, Gurjeet, and good evening, everyone. Gurjeet, before we begin, I want to take a moment to express how thankful we are that you're hosting this important conversation with our community once again. And thank you, Manny, for your inspiring words. I echo your sentiments. It's so important to engage directly with our community and receive questions from listeners over the next hour. I'm immensely proud of everyone at Osler and of everything we do day in and day out, and I look forward to the updates we'll share this evening. As Manny mentioned, we have a bright and exciting future ahead, and while we continue to work diligently to respond to the changing needs of the community and ensure patients always receive high-quality health care. This year, we officially launched our new 5-year strategic plan and purposely titled that plan Going Beyond for Our People and Communities. It's our most exciting and ambitious plan to date, leading to what I believe will be the most transformative and historic chapter yet for Osler and for healthcare in this community. This plan was shaped by close to 3,700 voices and perspectives reflecting patients and caregivers, Osler team members, the incredible communities we serve, and our exceptional partners, all of whom will continue to play a crucial role in helping us realize our vision of world-class healthcare inspired by our people and communities. I invite you to visit Osler's website to read the plan and watch a video that demonstrates who we are as an organization and our commitment to our communities, and that provides a roadmap for our future as we continue to build a sustainable, modern healthcare system. Building on our long-standing commitment to education, research, and innovation, and as the primary clinical partner for the Toronto Metropolitan University School of Medicine, Osler will mark a historic milestone as we transform from a large community hospital to an academic health center. This represents an exciting and natural evolution that will bring tremendous benefits for our community, the healthcare workforce, and most importantly, for patients for generations to come. With a broader focus on research and academics, Osler will be able to further enhance person-centered, high-quality care close to home for our growing and diverse population. This means residents of Brampton, North Etobicoke, and surrounding communities will benefit from a broad range of inpatient and outpatient services previously only available in downtown Toronto Hospital, now closer to home, minimizing travel outside this area. Before I turn things back over to you, Gurjeet, I want to also take a moment to share once again a heartfelt thank you to Osler's healthcare teams for continuing to provide outstanding care to our community, to our patients and families for their continued trust in us, and to our community and government partners for their ongoing support, and to our donors for their enduring generosity. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Gurjeet, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Martino. As a reminder, if you would like to ask a question or make a comment, press *3 on your phone. We kindly ask that you keep your question or comment brief so that we can get to as many as possible. We'd now like to open the line to answer your questions. Please press *3 on your phone to bring you into the question queue and speak with Osler's leaders. Again, we kindly ask you keep your questions or comments brief so that we can get to as many as possible. Our first question of the evening is from Balbir, who is on the phone with us. Good evening, Balbir.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, my question was that as people are growing here and the hospital need to be created more facilities there, more doctors, more staff, or create one more hospital for that. Though I already said that whenever I went to the Osler, I got excellent service and quick. I don't know how the people say that people should have some patience because everybody is in line and everybody gets checked. So since 17 years, I'm happy with the hospital. But since the things are growing, the people's and the population is growing, so we need some other hospital, or the facility should be increased in the same hospital. And that's what I'm asking.
Thank you so much for your question, Balbir. I'm going to pass it on to Kathy, and she will answer that for you. Kathy?
Thanks for your question, Balbir. I'm really excited, and momentarily I'm going to speak a bit about the Peel Memorial Phase 2 expansion. But to answer your question, yes, we absolutely are planning for Brampton's third hospital. In fact, the new Peel Memorial will include 250 inpatient beds to begin with capacity to open nearly 100 additional beds in the future at the Brampton Civic site. So I can assure you that the Peel Memorial Phase 2 expansion will address healthcare needs in Brampton and help with that growing population that we're so aware of. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, Kathy. Our next question comes from Anthony, who is also on the phone. Good evening, Anthony. Go ahead with your question. Hi, Anthony.
Yes.
Good evening, Anthony. Go ahead with your question.
Yes, I thought I already asked this question, but you want me to go through the entire issue one more time?
I can read your question if you'd like and pass it on to.
Yeah, that would be sufficient. There's no problem.
Okay. Anthony's question is regarding visiting hours. When patients are sick and come into the hospital but find being disturbed because of the rules around visiting hours, he views that patients need to have specific times for sleep and rest, and that might be an issue in regards to boundaries. So I'll pass this question on to Mary Jane to discuss with us. Mary Jane?
Thanks, Gurjeet, and thank you for the question, Anthony. I'm hearing two things. One is clarification around our visiting hours, and I will say that we've been trying hard to balance less about rules, but more about guidelines and how we support families to be present, because we know that family presence creates healing for patients, and how we balance that with the need for times when we have to be careful around the respiratory illnesses in our community right now. So we're trying to do a good job around ensuring families that need to be with patients are there, and at the same time we keep everyone safe from any respiratory illnesses. The only other thing I want to mention is I love your focus on rest and sleep. That is so important for patients when they're healing in a hospital, and we've got a number of initiatives happening right now to support better sleep for patients, less noise in the hallways, less lights that are disturbing, and we're exploring things like eye masks and earplugs to really support patients to have a better sleep, which we know will make a huge difference. So thank you so much for your question.
Thank you, Mary Jane. We're going to go next to a question we've received online from Gulwinder. The question is, what technologies or treatments in the hospital is the hospital planning to introduce in the coming year? I'll pass that question on to Kiki, if you could please help us with that.
Good evening, Gulwinder. Thank you very much for your great question. As a leading hospital system in Ontario, Osler continues to implement new technologies to help improve the patient experience and enhance efficiencies. I'm excited to tell you about some things we've recently implemented, such as Molly-2, which is an innovative device used in breast cancer surgery that is considerably less invasive and more accurate when compared to wire-guided localization. And we also have something called IntelliJoint Hip, which is a state-of-the-art, made-in-Ontario technology used in total hip replacement procedures that reduces complications and, best of all, improves outcomes for patients. Osler is also the first hospital in Canada to offer in-house liquid biopsy testing for cancer care, a rapid and personalized cancer diagnosis and treatment option right here in our community. And we have some exciting things coming up in the year ahead, so we will continue to update the community as more technologies become available for our community.
Thank you, Kiki. Our next question is from Anita, who is online. The question from Anita is, what is Osler doing to manage/reduce emergency department wait times? I'll pass that question on to Tony.
Thank you for the question, Anita. Our teams do everything they can to improve access to inpatient beds and reduce pressures on our emergency departments. Osler proactively prepares for seasonal increases in patient volumes, but sometimes volumes in our emergency departments are due to other factors, such as the level of sickness of patients coming through our doors. Osler works closely with local system partners to provide clear, aligned communication on where to go if they or their family members are ill. These include Osler's Urgent Care Center at Peel Memorial, the regional virtual urgent care services, or your family doctor. Both Etobicoke General and Brampton Civic continue to be among the top half of wait times to see a physician when compared to our peer hospitals, with Etobicoke General in particular actually being third among EDs across the province. This means that 9 out of 10 patients will see a doctor in 1 hour and 48 minutes or less at Etobicoke General. Wait times for admitted patients to get to a bed continue to be a challenge, but Brampton Civic and Etobicoke General are on par with nearby hospitals when it comes to these metrics, and our teams work tirelessly to provide quality, compassionate care. Osler's emergency department and urgent care wait time clocks are available on Osler's website to provide up-to-date information on the estimated wait time to see a physician. Back to you, Gurjeet.
Thank you, Tony. Our next question is on the phone. We have Gamma joining us tonight. Good evening, Gamma.
Yes. Good evening.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, I'm game. I'm asking how to make a procedure to make a volunteer right now. I need no volunteer right now because I have no work right now.
Okay, one sec. I'm going to pass this question on to Ken. Ken?
Yeah, hi Gamma, and thank you very much for the question and for the thoughtfulness about helping others. In fact, Osler is incredibly grateful for a robust volunteer program that we have. We have over 1,200 leaders from the community, some new to us, some who volunteered for decades to help out in lots of our different units. And to answer your question more specifically, I think the easiest thing to do, because I'm actually there right now, is to go to our website. So the website is William Osler HS. That's all one word. William, WILLIAM OSLER HS.ca. If you go to the website, in the upper right corner, as easy as can be, there's something that says, I want to. You literally type the word volunteer in there, Gamma, and it gives you sort of all the details and specifics on how to do that application process. And we're extremely grateful for your interest and your kindness in terms of considering helping us. And I do hope that you apply to become a volunteer at Osler. Thank you very much for your question.
Thanks, Ken. Thank you, everyone. To ask a question or to make a comment during this live event, press *3 on your phone. This will bring you into the question queue to speak with one of Osler's leaders. We kindly ask that you keep your question brief so that we can get to as many as possible. Before we take any more phone and web questions, I'd like to invite Kathy Renaud, Vice President, Facilities Operations and Capital Development at Osler, to share the latest on Osler's redevelopment projects. Kathy?
Thank you, Gurjeet. I'm so pleased to be here tonight to speak about the transformation of the new Peel Memorial Hospital. I am very happy to share that since our last community town hall, we've reached two significant milestones. First, the request for qualifications to build the new hospital was released in May, and this important step evaluated and pre-qualified teams with the required design and construction experience to build a project of this size and complexity. This step was completed in the fall, and just a few weeks ago, Osler and Infrastructure Ontario, in partnership with the Ontario government, released the request for proposals to build the new Peel Memorial Hospital. Reaching the request for proposal stage for the new Peel Memorial is also a major step forward. So 4 teams have been shortlisted and are now invited to develop proposals outlining how they will build the new hospital with us. Proposals will be evaluated by the Infrastructure Ontario and us at Osler, and the top-ranked team will work closely with us toward the construction agreement. Also this fall, Osler received Ontario government approvals on our functional program for the new Peel Memorial Hospital, which outlines the details of the services of what will be provided. This is a major milestone, and it marks the culmination of years of collaboration involving Osler team members, numerous community groups, and industry experts. Pre-construction work is actively underway as Osler progresses through the required stages of government approvals, with early construction on the site anticipated to begin in the spring of 2025. The final design and construction timeline will be established in partnership with the successful proponent. And as with any large-scale construction projects, key dates are subject to change pending additional approvals. We are very excited to continue the transformation of Peel Memorial into Brampton's new hospital and bring a state-of-the-art hospital that will help to ensure that our communities will have timely access to high-quality care close to home, when and where they need it the most. So thank you for everyone who's called in tonight. I look forward to answering any questions you may have, and I'll hand it back to Gurjeet.
Thank you, Kathy. That's amazing news for our community. Thank you for sharing. I'd now like to ask Ken Mayhew, Osler Foundation's President and CEO, to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Gurjeet. I'm honored and grateful to be back here again this evening. As Manny said, and as you'll hear tonight, these are certainly very exciting times across our health system. The Osler Foundation is so proud and honored to work with community members like all of you to raise the funds needed to bring these vital projects like the new Peel Memorial, my colleague Kathy just told you about, Brampton's second hospital, to fruition. And that's because in Ontario, 100% of the equipment in our hospitals and 10% of the construction costs must be funded by the community. For the new hospital to build and equip and ongoing equipment needs across Osler, well, you can imagine that we'll need to fundraise over the next several years an immense amount of funds. The news is good. We're fortunate to have incredible champions who understand the critical importance of local health care. As one example, this past August, Mayor Brown and Council helped rally the community with the 3rd annual Hockey Night in Brampton, which has become the largest charity hockey game in Canada. And as we all get excited about Peel Memorial's 100th anniversary in 2025 and expansion to Brampton's second hospital, I'd really like to thank Mayor Brown and Brampton Council for their incredible support. And though we receive generous support throughout the whole year, this is actually a really important time for reasons of faith and culture and tradition, and sometimes to get a timely tax receipt. December is the giving season when many people choose to donate to causes that matter to them. Unfortunately, recent labor disruptions have impacted us in 2 specific ways. First of all, in November, we made the decision to cancel our annual gala in light of issues that were occurring at the Rose Theatre Brampton. And shortly afterwards, as we all know, postal workers went on strike, meaning that our holiday donor appeal letter could not be sent out to homes, nor could the hundreds and hundreds of donations and checks we get every December come in to Osler. These 2 initiatives are critical to our fundraising success. Last year, they raised well over $500,000. You can well imagine the tremendous impact this will have on our ability to ensure the delivery of vital care for patients and families. As I mentioned, we're in the season of giving for many cultures, and if you're planning year-end donations, I hope you'll consider including a gift to Osler, as many of you had for years and years and years. And thanks to an incredible $1 million matching gift that we have from BBD Group, your donation will be doubled if you give by December 31st. You can drop off your donations. We have foundation offices and lobbies of each of our hospitals, or you can visit oslerfoundation.ca. That's oslerfoundation.ca to make a donation. Every dollar is needed. Every dollar makes a difference. Every dollar is appreciated, and we're grateful for your support. Thank you. Take care. And I'd now like to turn things back to Gurjeet.
Thank you, Ken. I know I speak for all of us here and at home when I say we sincerely appreciate everything the Osler Foundation does to support healthcare for our community. We will now be asking our first polling question. To answer the question, please press the number on your phone that corresponds with your answer. The question is, before this evening, were you aware of Osler's plans to transform the Peel Memorial site into Brampton's new hospital? Press 1 if your answer is yes, I'm very aware of Osler's plans to transform the Peel Memorial. Press 2 if your answer is I am aware but don't know the details. Press 3 if your answer is no, I was not aware of Osler's plans to transform the Peel Memorial before this evening. Let me repeat the question and your response choices. The question is, before this evening, were you aware of Osler's plans to transform the Peel Memorial site into Brampton's new hospital? Press 1 if your answer is yes, I am very aware of Osler's plans to transform the Peel Memorial. Press 2 if your answer is I am aware but don't know the details. Press 3 if your answer is no, I was not aware of Osler's plans to transform the Peel Memorial before this evening. We would now, please enter your response on your phone now. I will share the results shortly. We now would like to open the line to answer more of your questions. Please press *3 on your phone to bring you into the question queue and speak with Osler's leaders. Again, we kindly ask that you keep your questions brief so that we can get to as many as possible. Our next question is from Jane Turner, who is on the phone with us this evening. Good evening, Jane.
Good evening. How are you tonight?
Good, thank you. I hope you are doing well.
My question is, we are aware, as per the media, that there are very lengthy surgical wait lists for joint replacements, usually hips and knees. My question is, has there been any progress made towards centralizing a waiting list amongst all the surgeons between hospitals so that patients possibly will be seen in a more timely manner?
Thank you very much for your question, Jane. I'm going to pass that question off to Dr. Martino.
Jane, that's a wonderful question, and I'm pleased that you asked it. Several years ago, and I must say it may be about 8 or 9 years ago, the Ontario Ministry of Health developed a MSK strategy, a musculoskeletal strategy for the province that looked at creating intake centers across the province that were in sort of regions that we used to call the LHINs. Certainly in our region, it would be Osler and a few of the neighboring smaller hospitals where we have a place where patients who may need hip and knee surgery actually go to be assessed. There they decide whether they want a specific surgeon or the first available surgeon. What that has done is it actually has flattened the curve with regards to wait times. Of course, the pandemic has increased those wait times, and we're very much aware of that and working diligently to reduce those wait times. I must say that beyond hips and knees, there are a few other areas that have also been addressed, and that includes cataracts and mechanical lower back pain or back pain in general. We know that in the next short while, we'll be creating wait lists for a number of conditions. And that type of program will be more of a regional program, to your point, where hospitals within, say, the central region, that include sites like the Trillium Health Center, William Osler, Halton Healthcare, and as far north as Muskoka and Barrie, will be starting to work together to create hubs where central wait does actually thrive, where we will have wait lists for a number of conditions to really address wait times, not only in with regards to hip and knee surgery, but a lot of medical conditions. And we're very excited about that.
Thank you, Dr. Martino. Our next question is also on the phone. We have Carmen joining us this evening. Carmen, go ahead with your question. Good evening, Carmen.
Before that, I had surgery done recently, a knee replacement, and everyone was really, really, really nice to me. From the moment that I checked in until I left the hospital, I had no problem at all. Whatever I needed, someone was there for me. And especially to Suki, one of the nurses, she told me her name, but I said, okay, I'll call you Suki because I cannot remember the full name. But everyone was really, really nice to me. And I gave them a 10 for review. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carmen. I'm going to ask Mary Jane to share some thoughts.
Thank you so much, Carmen. We love to hear compliments from our community, from patients that have experienced care at Osler. And I particularly valued hearing about the strength of empathy and kindness that came from the nurses that looked after you. So really thank you for sharing. And we're all taking this to heart. So thanks so much.
Thanks, Mary Jane. We'll go to our next question, which is from Sarah, who's also on the phone with us. Good evening, Sarah. Go ahead with your question.
Hi. I just wanted to ask if William Osler has any plans to move towards a fully digitized EHR like Epic.
Thanks for your question, Sarah. I'm going to ask Dr. Martino.
Thank you. And again, thank you for your question, Sarah, and it is quite timely. I believe I was the physician in 1995 when at the Old Peel Memorial we adopted what we thought was an advanced hospital information system. we've had that for quite a number of years and have tried to upgrade it and adapt it to the modern needs of healthcare. Over this past year, we've gone through a process of acquiring a new hospital information system, and that procurement process, as you can imagine, is extremely important and quite involved. And in the next few weeks, we will be announcing that we have moved forward with an advanced hospital information system. I can't really tell you which one it is, but we're all very excited. It will be transformational for the quality of healthcare. Our healthcare providers, especially at the bedside, will be providing care for our patients. It will lift our community of healthcare providers here at Osler and allow us to really do a great job in serving our community. So we're very excited. Stay tuned, and yes, it will be a very modern hospital information system.
Thank you, Dr. Martino. And thank you to everyone for your insightful questions. We will have some more time for live questions in a few minutes. At this time, I'd like to announce the results of our first polling question. So our question was, before this evening, were you aware of Osler's plans to transform the Peel Memorial site into Brampton's new hospital? From that poll, 67% of you said yes, this has been, that you are very aware of Osler's plans to transform the Peel Memorial. 17% of you said that you are aware, but you didn't know the details. And 16% of you said that you were not aware of Osler's plans to transform the Peel Memorial before this evening. So thank you very much for your feedback. This is very important information for Osler, not just for the team, but also for the patient and family advisors. I will now turn it over to Kiki Ferrari, who is Osler's Executive Vice President and Chief Clinical Officer.
Thank you, Gurjit. It's a pleasure to be part of this event once again. Good evening, everyone. As Osler's Chief Clinical Officer, I'm immensely proud of Osler's staff, physicians, and volunteers who work so hard to provide innovative, compassionate, and quality care to this vibrant community. Like many other hospitals across Ontario, Osler is seeing higher volumes of sicker patients in our emergency department. Osler's staff, physicians, and volunteers are working hard to ensure the community continues to receive the care it needs and deserves. We are proud to share that Etobicoke General has the third lowest wait time to see a physician in the province. This means that 9 out of 10 patients will see a doctor in 1 hour and 48 minutes or less at Etobicoke General Hospital. Brampton Civic also continues to be among the top half for lowest wait times when compared to peer hospitals. To help patients and families understand what to expect when visiting the Urgent Care Center or one of our emergency departments, Osler provides wait time clocks available on our website at williamoslerhs.ca, and that's all one word, williamoslerhs.ca. Throughout the busy fall-winter season, our healthcare teams do everything they can to improve access to care and reduce pressures on our emergency departments. And for that, we are most grateful. While the emergency department is the best place to go for care if you are seriously ill and for babies under 6 months, we would also like to remind you about the other options for care available to you and your families. These include Osler's Urgent Care Center at Peel Memorial, the Regional Virtual Urgent Care Services, calling 811, or going to the website health811.ontario.ca, or your family doctor. Just a reminder, if you have a life-threatening emergency, call 911 for an ambulance. We are always here 24/7 and are ready to care for you. On behalf of OSLR, we thank patients and families for their patience and understanding as we head into the busy winter season. It's our privilege and pleasure to care for you and your loved ones. Before I pass it back to Gurjit, I would like to highlight OSLR's oncology program. With projections showing that the number of cancer cases in our community will double by 2038, we know how important cancer care is for our community. OSLR has expanded cancer care services to include rapid cancer diagnostics programs, advanced surgical techniques, innovative immunotherapy delivery, and access to global clinical trials for new anti-cancer treatments. Most recent innovations include OSLR becoming the first hospital in Canada to offer in-house liquid biopsy that I had talked about previously for testing cancer, and rapid and personalized cancer diagnosis and treatment options right here in our community. And earlier this year, OSLR partnered with the Princess Margaret Cancer Care Network to enhance clinical expertise, research, and education in Brampton, North Etobicoke, and surrounding areas. Huge congratulations to OSLR's oncology team and all of our team working together on many programs and services, caring for our community day in and day out. Thank you. I will now pass it back to Gurjit.
Thank you, Kiki. Before we take more phone and web questions, I'd like to invite Tatiana Rivera, Executive Vice President, Quality Research and Chief Nursing Executive, to provide an update on OSLR's research initiatives.
Thank you, Gurjit. Good evening, everyone. I'm honored to be back for this event and to share some very exciting news about research at OSLR. The OSLR Research Institute for Health Innovation was officially launched a couple of weeks ago during Celebrate Research Week. We are so pleased that Mayor Patrick Brown was able to help celebrate the launch with us. Established earlier this year, the OSLR Research Institute for Health Innovation, or ORI-HI, has embarked on an exciting journey. During Celebrate Research Week, we proudly unveiled our new research strategic plan, marking a significant milestone in our program. The new plan for ORI-HI is an exciting and bold step forward for our organization, guiding our research for the next 5 years. This plan has been shaped by the insights of over 3,700 partners, from patients and healthcare professionals to researchers and community members, all of whom have contributed valuable perspectives to ensure our work aligns with the needs of our community, healthcare system, and the rapidly changing research landscape. At the heart of this plan is our enduring purpose, transforming discoveries into practice for better health. This continues to be our guiding principle as we focus on bridging the gap between scientific discoveries and real-world healthcare solutions. Over the past decade, our emphasis has been on applied research, turning innovations into tangible treatments, practices, and technologies that directly improve patient care. The plan is structured around 3 key pillars. Personalized health. This means improving health for each person by giving them treatments that fit their specific needs. Population health. This focuses on improving health outcomes across the broader population and addressing health system problems that affect everyone. And the third pillar is health systems. This aims to make healthcare systems work better to help communities more effectively. These pillars are reflected in the work we are already doing and was featured throughout Celebrate Research Week. You may have heard about some of these events in our publications. If you missed them, the recordings can be found on Spotify, or you can go to our OSLR website under Research and sign up to receive our newsletter. In addition to these core areas, our strategic plan outlines 5 key priorities that will guide our research efforts moving forward: people and culture, collaborations and community, sustainable funding, knowledge sharing and translation, and research services and infrastructure. These priorities will allow us to advance innovation, discover new solutions, and continuously improve health outcomes in our community. Looking ahead, we are energized by the possibilities this strategic plan unlocks. Ori High has already made significant contributions to the scientific community, and we move into the next chapter. We are more committed than ever to pushing the boundaries of what's possible. With the strength of our team, the collaboration of our partners, and the ongoing support of our communities, we are confident that we will continue to grow, make a difference, and transform the lives through research. Thank you for your time this evening. Now I'll send it back to Gurjeet.
Thank you, Tatiana. We would now like to open the line to answer more of your questions, so please press *3 on your phone to bring you into the question queue and speak with Osler's leaders. Again, we kindly ask that you keep your questions brief so that we can get to as many of them as possible. Our next question is from Jess, who is on the phone with us this evening. Jess, go ahead.
Hi there. Good evening, everybody.
Hi, good evening.
My question is regarding radiation therapy treatments. I know a large number of patients are being sent out to Sunnybrook and Princess Margaret for treatments. I know, and I heard the staff talking earlier about advancements and all the new services in the oncology department, but they didn't really touch up on radiation. So I was just wondering if you can give me, like a timeline of a radiation center being opened at William Osler.
Thank you very much for your question, Jess. I'll pass it over to Kathy.
Thanks, Jess. I'm excited to tell you that Osler is actively working on this project. We have submitted what's called a functional program for our Comprehensive Cancer Center, which will complement already the amazing services, as Kiki talked about, that our oncology department delivers. But as you point out, we'll also address the desperate need for radiation therapy. So that said, I know you're looking for a timeline, and I will say that hospitals are among the most complex architectural and engineering projects to design and to construct. And with all of these projects, the timelines, we try to be as precise as we can, but they are dependent on a number of approvals from our ministry, and we are working very hard to advance this project. So thank you for your question.
Thank you, Kathy. Our next question is also on the phone. We have Tashana joining us this evening. Tashana, go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening. Go ahead with your question.
Yes. As a new graduate nursing student who completed a consolidation with Osler, and given the increased need to provide care to our growing community, I find that the recruiting process for new grad nurses is difficult. This is a concern with other of my colleagues in my graduating class, and my question is just why is this, and if we have any idea how we can combat this.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to ask Tatiana to help us out with this question.
Thanks, Tashana, for your question, and congratulations on your graduation as a new registered nurse in the province of Ontario. It's a phenomenal feat, and for your interest in wanting to work at William Osler. We have been very actively recruiting new graduates, so much so we've hired 103 in the last 10 months. And so we are diligently working with our schools and our new graduates, especially those who have done their placements here. So if you are interested, and anyone who's on the line, you certainly can go online, or Tashana, I welcome your connection to me directly, and I'm happy to have the conversation with you, either regarding opportunities here at Osler or to have some guidance with you regarding your career going forward. We welcome and are open. We've got a number of vacancies regarding registered nurses and many pathways for entry to new grads, both on regular units and specialized areas. So I welcome the connection. Thank you for your call.
Thank you. I'm going to go to the next question, which is also on the phone. And this question is from Lincoln. Good evening, Lincoln. Go ahead with your question.
Hello, good evening. This is Lincoln from Etobicoke. I have done some operation in Brampton with my eyes, the cataract, and I've gained black spots now in my eyes. And then I did a colonoscopy with the urologist in Etobicoke General, and I left the hospital bleeding and in pain. I know everybody's saying good things, but these are real things happening, and who we could get these things rectified with. We can't complain, only complain. We like to get these things done properly so we won't have the side effects that we have it right now. Thank you. All you, God bless each and everyone there today and help us to raise as much as we need. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for your question. I'm going to ask Mary Jane to comment on that.
Lincoln, thank you so much for your feedback. It's really important to us as a hospital. We value hearing both positive and experiences that we need to learn from. So we appreciate all that you've said and really want to welcome anyone that has any compliments or concerns to contact the Patient Experience Office. Our contact information is on the hospital website, and we really see receiving feedback from our community as an opportunity to build trust and to really hear what's most important to those patients that we serve. So thank you so much for your comments.
Thank you so much, Mary Jane. Our next question will be an online question from Sherry. Sherry is asking, knowing that doctors' offices and walk-in clinics will be closed over the holidays, how should we prepare? I'm going to pass that question on to Tony.
Thanks, Gurjeet, and thank you, Sherry, for the question. That's actually a very good question and very important given the time of year. With the holiday season upon us, we remind everyone in our community to stay up to date with their flu and COVID-19 vaccinations and RSV if eligible. Refill your medications and medical supplies before the holidays so that you don't run out. Please do not come to visit patients when sick. And finally, continue to practice hand hygiene and wear a mask when required. All of this information and more is available on OSR's website. And again, a big thank you, Sherry, for the question. Back to you, Gurjeet.
Thank you, Tony. Our next question is also an online question, and this question is from Franco. Franco is asking how they can donate to the hospital at this time. I'll pass that question on to Ken.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gurjeet. Grateful for the question, Franco. And I presume, because we're getting many of these types of questions, this is related to the current mail strike we find ourselves in. I think the good news is that all of our hospitals have lobbies, and in those lobbies we have teams of volunteers. We talked about how important the volunteers were earlier tonight. We also have foundation offices that have secure mail slots, so it's quite easy to come in to any of the hospitals and drop off a donation if that's convenient. We also do have online capacity, oslerfoundation.ca, as I mentioned earlier, oslerfoundation.ca. And should it be a situation where neither of those things are convenient, similar to my colleague a few minutes ago, I would be happy to have you reach out to me directly, Franco. My name's Ken Mayhew, and I'd be happy to help. Thank you very much for your question.
Thanks, Ken. Our next question is another online question, and it is from Debbie. The question is, please address the collaboration between the new UTM Brampton Med School / campus and William Osler. I'm going to pass that question on to Deepak.
Thank you, Gurjeet, and thank you for the question, Debbie. So Ulster's collaboration with the Toronto Metropolitan University, TMU, it's a game-changing opportunity to train the next generation of clinicians. Ulster's actively engaged with the Toronto Metropolitan University, the City of Brampton, as we're developing and supporting the development of the new medical school in Brampton. As the hospital has a long-standing commitment to medical education, this includes training family medicine residents from McMaster and UFT for over a decade. We're excited for this new partnership as we're becoming a primary affiliate with TMU. Ulster's capacity to provide to provide care to the community and expand the capacity for primary care and specialist care is what we're anticipating as this work continues over the next several years. And so together with the work that we're doing that Tiziana talked about with respect to the new research institute, this becomes a new and bold chapter in Ulster's future as we bring more capacity for care into the community. Thank you. Back over to you, Brigitte.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you to everyone for your insightful questions tonight. Just a reminder that if we were unable to get to you tonight, we are gathering your information so that we can get back to you and answer the questions you have as best we can. I'd now like to invite Mary Jane McNally, Osler's Chief Patient Experience Officer, to say a few words.
Thank you, Gurjeet. Before I share any further remarks, I would like to thank you for moderating tonight's event and to recognize you for being a valued member of our Patient Family Advisory Council. By sharing their voices and experiences, Osler volunteer patient and family partners help guide Osler's policies, planning and strategy, and their wisdom and insights help us connect more deeply with our community. Building on our longstanding commitment to clinical care, education, research, and community engagement, Osler is dedicated, truly dedicated to people-centered care. This includes a focus on the patient, their family, and their community, along with those who provide care, our support service teams, and our professional healthcare providers. As a health system caring for one of the most diverse regions in our province, we are taking additional actions that build on our existing practices, protocols, and policies, and that include policy revisions and, most importantly, focus on interactive education on cultural safety and humility. Cultural humility involves humbly acknowledging oneself as a learner when it comes to understanding another's experience. Each person we care for is a unique person and experiences social factors influencing their health specific to their language, faith, gender identity, sexual orientation, and more. Being truly people-centered creates a care experience where patients feel heard, understood, and respected for what they need. These changes will strengthen our commitment towards asking about, listening to, and integrating our patients and their families' values, beliefs, and goals in every aspect of their health care, upholding our corporate value of respect and our foundational commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion. Thank you, everyone. I'll now turn it back to our moderator, Brigitte, and look forward to answering any questions that you may have, although we are coming to the end of our evening.
Thank you, Mary Jane. We now have one final polling question to ask you tonight, and we would appreciate your feedback as it will help us plan future Osler events. To answer the question, please press the number on your phone that corresponds with your answer. Our final polling question tonight is, did you find tonight's telephone town hall informative? Press 1 if your answer is yes, this has been informative and I plan to participate again. Press 2 if your answer is somewhat, I found tonight's event fairly helpful. Or press 3 if your answer is no, I didn't feel it was informative. I'll repeat the question again with the choices. Did you find tonight's telephone town hall informative? Press 1 if your answer is yes, this has been informative and I plan to participate again. Press 2 if your answer is somewhat, I found tonight's event fairly helpful. And press 3 if your answer is no, I didn't feel it was informative. I will now turn it over to Dr. Martino for some final thoughts.
Thank you again, Gurjeet, for so expertly moderating tonight's telephone town hall. We also are greatly appreciative of the tremendous contribution you make as a member of Osler's Patient and Family Advisory Council. Thank you also to my Osler colleagues who joined us this evening to provide updates and answer questions from our community. We have reached over 5,100 households throughout the past hour. We're so happy to have connected to so many of you. I'm grateful to everyone who has joined us and called in with questions and comments. At Osler, we're proud to be your local hospital system, and your presence tonight reaffirms the strong bond that we share as a community committed to health and well-being. Please know that your comments, questions, and experiences make a difference in all that we do. A thank you to Carmen and Lincoln for your positive comments. That goes so far for our clinical teams that are committed to your care. We will be hosting another Osler telephone town hall in the spring, and we hope that you can join us again. Until then, we'll continue to keep you, your families, and the community updated on hospital matters through Osler's website, our newsletter, Inside Osler, social media, and our various communication channels. On behalf of Osler's staff, physicians, learners, and volunteers, I offer our deepest thank you for your ongoing support of Osler and our healthcare team. I wish all of you a healthy and safe and joyous holiday season. And however you celebrate the holidays, may you experience warmth and peace. Thank you and stay well.
This wraps up Osler's telephone town hall. Thank you to all of our speakers for your insightful updates tonight. And of course, thank you to our community for your great questions and your active participation. The recording of tonight's call will be available on Osler's website in the next few days. If you have questions that we did not get to, please email them to publicrelations@williamoslerhs.ca, and we will respond to them in the coming days. Once again, that's publicrelations, one word, @williamoslerhs.ca. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your evening.